Marion Roberts was established in 1902. It is a global construction and engineering group, and its headquarters are in Bedfordview, Johannesburg.
There's a deal going on here. They're in the process of narrowing their business focus. They're shutting down their building business in the Middle East, and they've sold their South African building and construction business to an empowerment consortium. They have the name Southern Palace or something like that, SA Palace. You're familiar with that group?
Not really.
Can I get market cap in here? It's 5.78 billion rand, a PE ratio of 11.5, dividend yield of 3.5%. Southern Palace, any memory recall on that one?
No, not really. But I think, it's if you look at Marion Roberts, it's just been shrinking its business. A few years ago, it had that steel fabrication business, which it sold off as well. It's focusing really on underground mining and oil and gas, which, are not two areas that you can get particularly excited about as well. But I suppose that they feel that, the extent of their business needs to be trimmed down a little bit given the current circumstances, and have probably chosen the best of the worst, if I can put it that way.
They have really been through the mill, Marion Roberts.
Yes, because they were very heavily associated with that fine. They had a big 300 million rand hit on that. They then replaced their entire management team, Henry Last to the fore, and they've been trying to do a sort of a clean-up. So the power station business is sort of a smaller one for them. The Gautrain runoff, they have now at least settled all of those. So all of those claims, whether they won them or not, are through the books. The decision to shut down their Middle Eastern business, though, is also interesting, because when you shut down a business, enormous costs associated with wind-ups. In addition, there's a final wrangle going on with the Dubai airport construction program. So what they've still got to get through the mill with is that, and that could be costly. Then, as Nesan says, the underground mining is looking a little bit like,
Let's put the share price graph up again. Just give it.
It's a pity it's only a 5-year share chart, because you can see the value diminution there. But if you go back further, you can see this one has come from well above 100 rands a share, and it's just lost value progressively over time.
Perhaps the appropriate question is, Nesan, is this one going to survive?
I probably, we may see it contract a little bit more. The problems that Paul mentioned with regards to contracts, remember they had a problem with Eskom. They had a problem with the Gautrain water ingress problem at the, I think it was the Park Station.
Between here and there.
Dubai Airport, they've had and even in Queensland, in Australia, they had a issue around
almost
contracting.
Almost as though no area of their business is flying.
And you just wonder whether they've got a handle on things. Now with the construction company, because, the pricing is so keen, they actually cannot afford to have an issue where they don't get cash from a particular project because they have a dispute of some sort or the other. And Marion Roberts, just because of the nature of the disputes and the extent of these and the cost of these, you're going to have to wonder whether or not the existing projects they're involved in are going to have similar problems. And if it does, they may even shrink even
Paul,
further.
if I put the same question to you, their chance of survival?
No, I think they're fine in that regard. They're big and fairly well capitalized, and they've had support of shareholders, Alan Gray in particular. Remember, it's also their bridge that fell over on top of the N1 over at Grayston Avenue, which was a relatively small project by value, but was a reputational disappointment. But wait, there's something interesting going on here with the shareholding of the company. A German operation called Aton, which is an investment company of the Helmeg family, I know nothing about them, have acquired a 30% stake in the business. Out of the blue, about 2 months ago, there was a massive chunk of stock, like 25% of the share register went from one entity to the other, and they have been in the market accumulating. So they're getting close to the level where they may have to consider an offer buyout to the minorities. But I don't know whether that creates any sense of excitement or otherwise. Germans wanting to come and buy the company.
Are you excited about Germans potentially entering the fray?
I think they have particular focus on underground mining. So I suppose that, and Marion Roberts actually does a fair amount of underground mining throughout the world. So that could be a reason. It may actually specialize eventually as just an underground mining contractor.
Hot, not hot?
Not hot for me.
Paul?
Look, for the Germans, it's a small investment. I don't know how many euros, Deutschmarks, that investment was. The whole market cap of the company is only 5.9 billion rand, so it's about 1.5–2 billion rands They've
Hot,
got lots of
not
loot.
hot?
No, I think you have to go not hot. There's a lot of noise and a lot of work still to be done. And the point in the cycle now with all the stuff that they're going to do is still looking a bit dire.